Hello, so in this session we're going to talk about how you might better manage upwards in the organisation and build a much better relationship with your boss. And in order to do that, we're going to talk about 5 key areas for you to think about. And the first one of those is what we're going to call reverse recognition. And what that simply means is sometimes it's good to tell your boss they've done a really good job. And people like to hear that, people feel good about it. Our advice would be not to overdo that and so it becomes sucking up, but in a certain amount of, yeah boss, you did a really good job there and it was a good outcome, would be really positive. The second thing we're going to talk about is it's good to develop a relationship with your boss, that it goes beyond just, worker direct report. So find out a bit more about them, find out what makes them tick, find out a little bit more about what they like to do, what they don't like to do, so you can engage them in a conversation that is outside of the work environment. Do it gently, do it appropriately, but over time you'll find that you'll build a much better working relationship with your boss, and you'll understand a lot more of where they're coming from, what's important to them, what they find interesting. It might also help you with work-related content, because you can put it in a way that lands for them. The third thing that we want to talk about, and probably one of the biggest things you can do, is communicate. Now that sounds easy and sounds obvious, but let's put a little bit of flesh on that. Firstly, be direct. Direct with confidence, be clear and succinct. They don't have a lot of time, so your communication needs to be to the point. Prepare for challenge. That's what senior people do. They'll challenge you, and they're not doing that just to have a go. They're asking some really serious questions from their perspective. So don't take that personally. It's necessary, and then just deal with that and come back on that and answer the questions that you've been asked. Say what you mean. Don't beat around the bush. Find ways, as we would call it, to disagree agreeably. So rather than say flat, no, can't do that, how about fashioning that as what would be the consequences of doing something different? Now, I hear what you're saying, boss, but how about this idea? Think it might land better. What do you think? So you're kind of sharing that with them. The fourth one we're going to talk about is what we call work smart. And what is this about? This is about really expectations from senior leaders. They expect you to be effective, productive. They're all about outcome and results. What is it you're delivering for me? You have to respect their time. So when you're working smart, think about what is it I really, really need to get from my boss? What's the most important things? And what things can I find out myself or put on the back burner? Try and avoid overuse of the word can't. Boss, I can't do that. I can't do that. And think of a different way of putting that. Yeah, boss, I can absolutely do that, but here are a few priorities I've got right now. Which one can I move lower down the list? If I'm going to put your one higher up, what else can I move? So just try and do that in a collaborative way, and set very clear objectives and clear deliverables with them, so that you know where you're going to, and it's kind of shared journey, so that everybody's clear on what needs to happen and when it needs to happen. The fifth one we're going to call manage upwards. What do we mean by that? We mean at the end of the day, whoever they are, this person is your boss, and that does have consequences about how you relate with them. So you need to support them, you need to be on their page, you need to allow them to make the odd mistake. I mean, we all do, right? And they will. And so let them make mistakes, but help them find solutions. Make them look good, and that will be great. I mean, if you could do that, it will have some real positive consequences for you and your development. So kind of in summary then, if I was to say what are some top tips, here are our 5 top tips. Reverse recognition, tell them they've done a good job. Develop a relationship, find out a little bit more about them. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Work smart, be on their agenda, don't waste their time, clear objectives, and manage upwards. They're your boss, make them look good.